Welcome to the Protector Culture Podcast with Jimmy Graham. Jimmy is a veteran U.S. Navy SEAL, a former protective officer for the CIA Global Response Staff, founder and CEO of the Able Shepherd Program, a husband and father of 4, and a personal friend of mine. Now here's Jimmy.
Shifting gears, shakeout hikes. So we call this an overnight go back shakeout hike. So you're gonna shake out your gear, which a lot of people have backpacks, they have boots, they have all of the stuff. But you go, how's that backpack ride? When you're loaded out with your stuff, they have no idea. Or they walked around the block or something. So we've talked about doing this for years. This is an urban setting. So this is South Denver, and we're walking through. We set in at midnight along 470, and we hiked for approximately 6+ miles.
We'll say, 6.5 miles.
Yeah. Then we lay up for about an hour. We planned on 2 hours. Took us a little bit longer, so it was an hour and a half of pull out your bedroll. This is cold. It got down to 30.
33 is what the truck said, apparently. So between 33 and 39.
I heard that. I think it was Corey took off his watch and took it off his body and set it there and got down to like 33. So it's like it's cold, right?
It's cold.
So it's chilly woo, and now you're laying on the ground for your heart rate to come down for an hour and a half. Some people dozed off, got some sleep. Other people not so much. And now you don't want to get up because you're warm. Now this is the hard part. Now my alarm goes off. I look up and I'm trying to be loud, and I'm not seeing a bunch of heads popping up. And then I'm one here, one there. Now you got to get out of your warm wiggy sack. That's a term that used to be a brand, but we call it in the SEAL things. Get out that warm wiggy sack, and then go hike again for about 6 miles.
Put on those cold boots.
Put on those cold boots if you took them off. Yeah. Get up, roll everything. Now you're freezing because now your heart rate's down.
Yep.
And you got to wait to get it back up, and it's not yet. So now you're rolling up your stuff. You're putting it away. Everybody's moving a little slow, waiting for the other guy.
Crunching
your fingers
hands.
don't work right.
Toes aren't working.
Yeah, and now we're up and we're back at it.
Yep.
Now you're crickety, whatever. And we get going and then finish that out. I want to talk about a piece of gear. So we do gear all the time. Jay and I found this amazing piece of gear that he's going to model for us once again.
Here we go.
I'm up, Parker.
All right. Track on that, BK. He's like, son of a... It's awesome. Look at that thing. So you just do so it's called an anorak. So an anorak, I first saw this on Alone, the show Alone. Somebody, you guys have been talking about forever, so I checked out that most recent one where the dude kills the musk. Awesome. Yeah. But when I look at it, I'm always critiquing and looking and learning all that stuff, and I saw this guy wearing a garment. I said, what is that thing? And then the girl was wearing it, one of the ladies was wearing it as well, and I looked it up, and it's a wool called wadmal. It's a Viking wool. Fantastic garment. But it's way priced up there, and it's not really a Colorado thing because it doesn't get that cold, doesn't stay that cold. So as we look further, I know you've been talking about pants as far as motorcycle pants and just tough pants. We're going to do another podcast coming called Outdoor clothes. You
got to have a set.
Everybody should have one set of outdoor clothes, meaning if you walked out those doors in the next 6 months, you couldn't change your clothes. Most of your tennis shoes, like they're going to disintegrate because we wear disposable stuff. But if you had a good set of boots, a good set of pants, a good outer layer that's tough, thermal layers, all that stuff, that's kind of what we're talking about. You should have one full set. So this is called a Fjallraven. It's Fjallraven. It's Swedish. A Fjallraven has this anorak. It's a pullover, but it's easy to put on because these zippers. You can all the way half up unzip these things, pull them back down. But last night as I'm wearing it, you pull this open and it vents them out. So a lot of airflow going through it. I love these, what do you call that, a belly pouch or pocket. It's huge, so you can put your stuff in there. Whatever I put in there sat below my kidney belt, so it rode pretty good. And then you can get your hands in these separate side pockets. Big, generous collar. I put on my actual ballistic helmet and then threw it up there, so it's an oversized snorkel hood for warmth. Everybody's like, you're going to burn up. This doesn't have insulation. It's just an outer garment. So if you have like a Primaloft or any kind of Patagonia, like the really warm, lightweight, high-performance gear, that is going to be garbage in the woods. You're going to walk past a tree and you're going to look like you murdered a rabbit. There's going to be feathers, like it's going to be like a fur and feather. It's going to whatever. So it's going to be a mess. This is tough. It's the wax cotton, that G1000 they call it, and it's tough to take that kind of stuff. Yep. So you wear it as a layer over top. I open the cuffs up, open up the vents, good to go. Can you throw the hood on? So big old fat. I had a literally like the Home Depot. You see it in the aisle, like the watch cap BK that's got the LED thing. Man, I grabbed that last second out of going out.
Oh.
If I had not had that, that's a different night.
Yeah.
So
it started out without me not having a hat.
It was cold. It got cold, and you grabbed one on the way out.
Yeah.
Second thought kind of thing, but you got to have full skin coverage in your hat. So awesome. It's got a wire in there, so you can make it the shape you want. So, anyways, if you want to have that thing, the full effect with layers, or neck that down, it's a protective deal. And if you wear it alone, it's plenty to break. Like that wind that's hitting your skin will freeze you out. So just having something like that and run it super light or layered it's fantastic.
And that wire in the hood is key. Because
Yeah,
how many times you have a big hood and you got to pull the hood back or wear something underneath the hood to keep the hood from falling in front of your face.
Yeah.
With that wire, now you can have that coverage.
Yep.
And like that kind of sold it when you showed that last
And
night.
the full adjustment, so you can pull that cord back and suck that hood back so it's not falling in your face as well. And then I forgot to mention, there's a strap like a beaver tail in the back. So when you got like this, that windy deal where the wind blows it up and gets you wet and all that, there's a beaver tail in the back that tucks in the back, and you unsnap it. Where you at? So do that. This goes between his legs and would snap in the front. So now it comes up, snaps in the front so that you can't pull that garment. If you ever worn a poncho in the wind, that's the concept. That poncho is flapping like a flag over here. All this is just wet Jimmy Graham. So that doesn't work out well. So if you have something like that to anchor it so it's not getting wet. Cool. So we do this. We set in at midnight. We hike for approximately
2 hours, 45 minutes.
2 hours, 45 minutes. We lay up for an hour and a half. We finish for 2 hours and
2 hours, 20 minutes roughly.
2:20. We finish. We've already got support crew. Perry Saul, thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Just for support, if people need care, he is paralleling us all night. So he's in his Raptor. He's moving along, and he's just, if somebody needs something, he keeps going, what do you need? What do you need? I'm sharing my location. He's tracking. We'd go to cross a street, like, this is a city street, and then here comes Perry driving by.
Perry.
You guys good? We're good, brother. And then he goes, he caught some Z's while we were sleeping, then he's right back at it. As soon as I text him, you're awake, he's up. So he's tracking to make sure that we're all safe, everybody's good, nobody needs to ride out of there or needs water or anything like that. And then Neil Pinkham's showing up. He's waiting at the Egg and U. It's not the Egg and I anymore. It's Egg and
I
U.
don't understand.
And then he's hanging out inside. He's got a table. Here comes all these people crawling out of the swamp, out of the woods, and all this gear. People are like, what is happening right now? We dump off all these military-looking packs. I called the sheriff's department. Thanks, Douglas County. He just said, hey, here's the deal. We're going to have a handful of people just testing gear, walking, from midnight to 6:30 in the morning. They're like, yeah, stay on the trails. You guys be good. Thanks for letting us know. So it was all good. A lot of learning. Let's finish with a takeaway. So whether it be gear, whether it be lessons learned or something you saw in people that showed up, let's finish on that note, if you don't mind.
Takeaway for sure is thinking, like you said, everybody's got a backpack, everybody's got gear. I think for me, it's the critical thinking that goes into place and time, meaning this bag has to serve a specific purpose. And for Jason Campbell in Missoula, Montana, that bag has to serve something different than somebody that lives in Denver that rarely gets more than 10 miles away from their home. Like I might be 75 miles from my house, and that's a different loadout. And so that's playing with that stuff last night, not taking the bait on knowing that we're going 12 miles and there's French toast at the end of that.
Oh, so good.
It's so good.
Peanut butter.
So
Peanut
we
butter.
gotta have peanut butter.
Yeah, this is stuff you talk about around mile
around mile 9.
3.
And so it's having the discipline to talk about the critical thinking that goes into what you need it to function for, because what you need it to do isn't what I need it to do. So my loadout probably is going to be a little bit different than yours. And I might be carrying more water because I don't know where that's going to happen, if it's going to happen in 70 miles versus 10 or 12 or 15 miles. So anyway, I would say that's the biggie, is identifying what you predict with your best possible guess, how that has to function, and stay true to the function, not what's convenient in the moment when you're testing that stuff like we were last night.
And being honest about it.
Gotta be honest.
Because everybody, a lot of people have that, I'll be like Maximus and just kill 5 horses getting home, and I'm bulletproof, so I'll get there. Well, then weather comes in.
Yeah.
And you're dead. You're not helping anybody. That kind of thing. So just being able to having the foresight and being honest and saying, hey, if I have this stuff, it could be the difference in me making it or not.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's a big deal.
Well, and like to that point, it's, when we were weighing our packs, like, what does this thing weigh? What mine come in at? Like, I would like to tell the audience I had this lean fighting setup that came in at 19 pounds, 4 ounces.
Yeah.
That's what I want to say. And that's what I want to carry.
Yeah.
Because that's nice. But guess what? I'm rolling 37 pounds. And when I look at what's on that pack, what I came away with from last night is I have to add to it. I need a thermal barrier between me and the ground, because every spot of my body that didn't have some layer in between, the ground's pulling heat out of me in a hurry. And so I have to have a thermal layer. And there was just pieces like that. So my 37 pounds over the winter for sure isn't getting lighter, it's getting heavier. But you and I were looking through this stuff, and I'm like, I don't know what to cut out of here, because if I cut this, that's got major downstream impact.
And on game day, you can always shed stuff and leave it in the truck. Like, I'm not taking this, this, and this, and make that call, but not if it's not there.
Not if it's not there.
Yep.
Need it.
Parker.
Just to echo what Jay was saying a little bit, like, seeing the gear that worked. My thermal layer showed up at noon today. So
Awesome.
He's like, guess what showed up today?
That did. So, that, and then just finding out what works in the pack and what doesn't work in the pack is, super key. Having the ability to be able to walk a distance, like where we did 11.6 miles, that's not a super far distance, but it's not insignificant either. If you haven't done this, you don't know if you can do it.
Yeah.
Right.
You can say, I go walk 12 miles, that's no problem.
Right.
That last mile was tough for a lot of people that were doing what we did last night or this morning. We need to test our gear. And then the biggest takeaway of that is that mental aspect of, do you have the grrr to get through this? Yeah. Can you push through this? There was a support vehicle a phone call away.
Right.
Yeah.
My feet were cold. My feet hurt. This is, day 3 of adventurous doing things. Like, there's a phone call away, and I can be warm and then back home in a hot shower or whatever. You may not have that. And then can you push through it? And can you push through it when it's available?
What does the mental talk
Because if you
like?
can't push through it, then how would you push through it if you had to? And you get in that thing like, I'll do it. If I have to do it, I'll figure it out. Yes, there is that, but that is not the time to figure out if your gear works or not.
Not at all.
Right? You were saying that every place your body touched didn't have a barrier between you and the ground. It just sucked heat.
Yeah.
I was laying down for about 15 minutes, and I went, oop, I feel that right there. That's not going to be good.
Yeah.
I got 30 minutes left. I'll just suffer through it and see, or whatever it works. The layer that I had under me was wet, just because it was that cold ground riverbed. It was pulling heat from me and then just creating that moisture barrier. Yeah. You get wet, cold, and it stays cold. There's not a lot you can do. Fire, but there's not a lot you can do to get through that. So just that, the biggest takeaway I have is that grrr, watching the people that went last night trudge through what their hill was to climb last night. And whatever that may be, a bad knee or not as many steps or too many steps or I'm cold or whatever it may be, but watching people push through that gave me a little bit more grrr to be like, we're going to keep going. This is maybe me saying keep going and keep pushing helps somebody else keep pushing. Because there's always that thing like, I got to keep up. I got to, I'm going to stick on the heels of this one or whatever. And then just standing and waiting for everybody to come up and then regrouping and head off again. It was awesome.
Yeah.
To take this a level deeper, because we've had this conversation 5 times, if not 10, since you've been here. There's a truth out there, right? There's a truth with a capital T that is the truth. Your interpretation over here, mine, his, whatever. And we live in a society where people watch Alone from suburbia and go, that guy's a wuss, he tapped out on day 3. And they've never, ever spent one night outside of their bed with their weighted comforter. You know what I mean? So that's a thing, by the way. Have you seen these weighted blankets?
Yeah.
You've got one.
Yep.
So anyways, this is like I see people saying this, and I'm like, I know you, so please don't talk right now, because they're like, oh yeah, that guy on the thing. If you've got, the truth is that your decisions have consequences.
Big time.
And it doesn't matter that society does, that's out of fashion. It's like, that is the truth. When the truth happens, especially in emergency, if you're not a protector, if you're not called to help other people, then who cares? Just whatever, lay down and die or do whatever. But some people are like, I would do this because I care enough about them to get there in time. I would help other people. I need to take care of me so I can get back to my kids, all this other stuff. But I think it's a big deal that, that this, like if you're that person and you can talk to people for, I can, 5 minutes and see if you're in it for yourself or for others. Mm-hmm. And if you're in it for others, there's kind of a duty. That's the way I see it. I know you guys feel the same way. There's a duty and a responsibility. Is it a good time? It actually is, because that adventure connects us. And connection means that kind of community that's got a capability. That's just good stuff. I pray to God that other vets find what we found here, that there's some kind of sense of purpose. That worst case scenario, things go bad and you're ready. Best case scenario, nothing ever goes bad and you found community. Yeah. And you facilitate these kinds of things, because that adventure has been a key into men's hearts, right? Which opens the door to all this other good stuff, like including salvation, eternity, all of that. So it's an amazing, amazing thing that we get to do, and we don't take it lightly. I do want to talk about real quick is me and Eric were talking, and through those talks, those late night, we've got hours and you're just walking. We started talking about that gear. What do you want to invest in the gear? Is that if you've got this gear, don't just lock it in your truck and not touch it. Use it camping. Like overnight. Hey kids, you want to go camping? Yes. Grab your pack and walk out the door. And then you touch it and you feel it. Yes, it's emergency stuff, but you must know it. Just like your firearm, your secondary. Yep. You could have 50 guns. You better be good with one pistol. And that's the extension of your body that you grab and make it do the thing, right? So your gear's the same way as knowing all that stuff. And if you're going to invest in it, use it. Use it a lot. Make sure it's restocked and then placed back where it's supposed to be. The other thing is at the end of that shakeout hike, I've got a picture of Gail coming in like this, and I think I said you were in it as well. Yeah. And then that hug, and we were talking about that hug that says, I would have carried you here. Yeah. Like from everybody. Like if you would have rolled an ankle, anybody there would have carried you to that restaurant for breakfast. Yeah. Because it was just one of those things where like, we're in this together and it's ours. Like that group of people share a thing forever, and we've got the pictures to prove it, to look back and say, I remember that day. I was hurting and I didn't want to go anymore. And Gail was sitting there saying like, we're like, hey, are you okay? Where I was checking on her, and all this stuff. And she's like, well, I'm going to make it regardless.
Her mental talk was spot on.
Yeah.
Smiling the entire time.
And then, because I was like, man, I was just hoping that something, mentally, yes. And, is her body going to shut down and just say, we're done here? Right. And you're like, brother, I heard her mental talk. She was making it, period. Doesn't matter. Yeah. I was like, wow. So that was fantastic. All right.
You know what came before that? What came before that was the conversation. You and I picked Parker up on the way over here. Yeah. And there wasn't a formal sign up to that event. And so it's mystery, right? You come around the corner, what's the mystery going to unveil?
And these events are always, that's going to be awesome, right? By 50 people. And you show up and it's like, you ready? You're
like, absolutely. And so what did we discover? When we came around that corner, what did you see? Because that tells the story of how you started this segment.
Like 10 cars. Yeah. Like it's midnight. It's 11:30. Yep. We're staging. We drive around the corner. Up over the hill, I see a car. So I'm like, okay, well, at least it's us 3 plus 1. Yep. Yeah. Perry will be there because he's always there. He's like, if I'm in as a support vehicle, he's going to drive. Yeah. Keep an eye on everybody. So I'm thinking, well, there's 4. And then we show up and it's 10. So 10 people launching at midnight to walk all night, lay on the ground, and have some breakfast.
That's exactly it.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. It's worth noting. Good luck picking those people. Like if I gave you a roster of everybody in the program, it's hundreds of people. You show me who's going to show up that night. Mm-hmm. You know, it's almost like who's going to make it through buds. This has been mystery for the ages, right? Yeah. The big yoked dude that shows up and it's like, grrr, you know, whatever. And I'm not picking on people. If they had to work, they had to work, and if they weren't available.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that's like, if you could bottle that, if you could pick that grit, if you could find those people that say, yeah, I'm going to invest in me tonight, whatever.
Yeah.
They've been trying to pick that, and the guys that show up that just like the specimen is the guy that's at the bottom of the pool or ringing the bell and doing all this stuff. And it's usually like the big strapping football star. And then you get the little scrawny dude. You're like, he'll be out here tomorrow, and that dude's going to be the best SEAL ever. This guy carries him to over to the bell to ring out. You're like, what just happened here? You know. But that's the thing that's the X factor, and I love it. It's cool.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up. BK, bring us home. What do you got? Words of wisdom, just back there. He's like soaking this all in. He goes, you know what? Jimmy's going to ask me, and when he does, I'm going to say,
I'll have a microphone. Words are lost forever.
Right. That's funny. That started last time when I was like, bring it home, say something intelligent or whatever, American, and people just vapor lock. On this one, guys, the best this weekend, what it did for me, and I want to close on this, is that we kind of, I won't say we take it for granted, but we are blessed to do this every day. There's a country song that my kids started singing. It's called "Buy Dirt," and at one point it says, "Find something, do something you love, and call it work." You know, it's an amazing thing that I really hope and pray that veterans or other people that are protectors at heart find something like this, because to be very blunt, the veteran community has an unacceptable level of suicide. Any would be bad, but it's high, right? And that does, people say, well, not in the SEAL teams. Yeah, in the SEAL teams. They also have suicides, and I truly believe that people lost their mission. There's a vision in their life. They lost their mission. They tried this, they tried that. It doesn't work. In a moment of weakness, usually with alcohol or drugs, they opt out, and that's horrible. So I hope and pray that at some point we can continue to add value to people. That's our goal here. Our product, and people, you know, they don't hear the talks that we have. Our product is not medical bags and guns and this and that. Our product is a better you. We say we add value to others. That's our product. We help you be the hero in your family. I'm not trying to be the hero of your family. You're not trying to come in and be the hero of somebody else's family. We say you're the hero of the family, but I can guide you and make you more capable. So I think if that mission was understood, especially by the veteran community, it would change this world. I mean, we're doing it anyways. I tell people, you know, I ended a talk with this to the Veterans Affairs thing, or the vets down in Castle Rock, and I said, I ended it with this. I'm going to go change the world. I'm going to go regain this nation. Please join me. And they're like, yeah, that, you know. So I truly believe if more people thought that way, we could get this back. Jay, finish it up.
I think that's the only way to get it back, is that piece. And it's each of us making the commitment of that capital T, identifying the truth and not accepting anything less than that. And it that runs the gamut. The truth, identifying the truth in where our skills are at, identifying the truth in what's going on in the community around us, and identifying the truth in our commitment to engaging in that community, and not passively sitting by to watch what's going on, but to jump in it, because it's being protectors on a family level, but it's also being protectors on that community level and protecting the nation. And that's exactly where it emanates from, is I'm doing this, are you in?
Was going to wrap it up. Get salty. Dígame.
Matthew 5?
13.
Matthew 5:13.
One, it was Jack Hibbs was bringing this up in the sermon, the message today, and then also that coined a thing we've been saying all
We had a little
weekend.
saying up in Montana. Get salty.
Right. We're called to be salt, and if the salt loses its flavor, how do you regain that? Once you lose your salt, like we're called to be salt and light, once you lose that salt, like you lose that, salt is for life. There's a bunch of sermons on being salt. But I think right now, we've been saying that all weekend, like time to get salty.
Time to get salty.
And get in it and start becoming the answer to this again. And I believe that's a T-shirt in the making, by the way, Parker. We're going to line that up.
Yep. Well, there's a space out there, so.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here. Again, thank you, BK. Appreciate you. Going to sign off and talk about ableshepherd.com, find out more about the training program that started all this, or bringing everybody together. On Facebook, please follow us. My personal is Jimmy Graham, and then also Able Shepherd. Look for our crook and shield. Where's it on here? Shield with a shepherd's crook in the middle. Stand the Gap Initiative is that initiative where we have those free resources. Take what we're doing and do it in your community. Okay, we can't be the answer to your community if we're all the way over here and you're across the nation. So please look at the resources we provide for free. If you have questions about how to do that, please give us a call and we'll guide you in that direction. Find these podcasts, audio or video format at protectorculture.com. And then thanks again to our sponsors. Again, Able Nation. If you're entrusted with the safety of your school, your church, your civic group, even your children. We have groups of people that just want to be better protectors. They come in as a group, as a civic group, and then they contact Neil at able-nation.org. Have scholarships, training scholarships, material goods for emergency medical, like we said, body armor, all these things to make you to be a better protector. Able-nation.org can help. So thank you guys. Love you all. God bless you. Until we see you again, take care of one another.